We will get started here momentarily. All righty. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining the ACA Small Business Bootcamp and Resource Collective for this Thursday, November 18th. I'm Robert Theobald, the Small Business Ombudsman and Vice President of Small Business Services, and we're glad to have you with us. I'd first like to jump in and recognize all of our community partners. We could not do these bootcamp sessions without them, without their time, and without their expertise. We appreciate them very much. So those that are new to the boot camp, the Small Business Boot Camp is designed to help small businesses return from the COVID crisis stronger than ever. It is a statewide initiative supported by all of our community partners. And not only is it a Tuesday and Thursday 9 a.m. webinar series, it is also a resource collective and a content library. So let's dive a little bit deeper into both of those pieces. First, the Small Business Resource Collective are additional tools and guides brought to us by our community partners. They can help with some business guidance, business essentials, marketing, and other pieces. The link is at the bottom of the page. You can also find the link to this webpage about the middle of our Small Business Bootcamp website. At the bottom of the Small Business Bootcamp website, you can kind of see it. If you can read that screen that's on there, it says archived. We have our small business content library. And over the past 19 months, as we've been doing all of our webinars, we try and record all of them. There's just a couple that we were not able to record because of licensing agreements. But we have over 180 recorded sessions that are brought to us by our experts that have been on the boot camp. And you can go in and review those webinars at any time. And so with that huge amount of learning that's possible, you can share that information, share those links. If you missed a session that you want to, you can go back and watch again at any time. And so it's a great opportunity to revisit topics that you may want to brush up on or review. We also have a couple other websites that are very important to know about for just general COVID information and resources. You have ArizonaTogether.org, that's the state's website for those items. And then for COVID-19 business resources, we set up the azcommerce.com/COVID-19 website. And that includes business guidance, financial information, and other pieces of information that are great for any size business throughout the state. The ACA also has a number of programs to help support small business, our small business services, our workforce division, and our Arizona MEP, our manufacturing extension partnership. On top of those programs, for those looking to start a business, we have our small business checklist. And this is an interactive online resource that helps entrepreneurs identify the commonly requested licensing, registration, and compliance requirements at the local, state, and federal levels. You can also find additional information on things like business planning development, procurement, and marketing as well through the checklist program. So jump in, I want to touch on some business updates real quick. Just a reminder, Small Business Saturday, nestled between Black Friday and Cyber Monday is Small Business Saturday, and we're going to post a link in the chat to some information on Small Business Saturday and how, as a small business owner, you can leverage that day and some of the marketing programs that are out there for it. Also, new to announce is the Town of Superior, just I believe yesterday, launched a new small business grant for small businesses in Superior. So if you're one of those businesses, you can take advantage of that grant. And then Maricopa County, the Small Business Resiliency Program, has two key pieces. First is the Maricopa County 1% interest small business loan. We're going to post the link in that to Prestamos CDFI. They're the ones running that program for Maricopa County. And then the Maricopa County, as part of that program, also announced a grant. And we're going to post the link for that. Local First Arizona, along with the Arizona Community Foundation, are working together to manage and that grant program. And that has an up to $25,000 amount that you may be able to qualify for if you're in Maricopa County. So information on those programs will be posted in the chat for you to take a look at. Also, some of our upcoming sessions. Today, we have money decisions for a return stronger holiday season. Next week with Thanksgiving, we are not doing any boot camp sessions. We know a lot of people are traveling. The kids are out of school a little earlier now on Thanksgiving week. So we are not having any boot camp session next week. And then we will return on Tuesday, November 30th at 9 a.m. with leveraging the power of AI and entrepreneurship. And AI is important to all businesses. Even small businesses can leverage it. And we've got a great presenter, the founder of Botco AI, Rebecca Clyde. She's an awesome presenter, and it's an awesome company. Won a lot of awards lately, and they are an Arizona-based startup. And then on Thursday, December 2nd, the top 10 digital marketing trends with Giselle Aguiar. She's been with us before. She's excellent at sharing the trends and updates on social media. So we're really looking forward to that as we wrap up the year. And then we don't have it listed on here, but the following week, we have a great session on financials on getting ready for the year end that you'll want to also attend. We'll have that information up shortly. So with that, we'll jump into today's session and turn the time over to Karen Russo, our speaker today. She's the award-winning author of Money Keys. She's been with us before, so we're excited to have her back again. So Karen, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen and let you jump right in and get started.
Well, thank you so much, Robert. And I'm excited about this year-end time, which is such an important time for businesses in terms of accomplishing things for this year, but also the setup for the future. So I'm very happy to be with you all around right now for this topic. And everybody can see my slides and you hear me just fine? All right. Money decisions for the holidays. So this is a conversation about the financial and strategic choices that you have as the business owner during the holiday season. And back when I was single, the holiday season was this long period of time that among my friends at the time, this was, in my 30s, it was always considered a little bit challenging if you were single during the holidays. And in our vernacular, the holidays lasted from about the time you started thinking about Halloween costumes to just after Valentine's Day. So, depending on what your mind says, what is the holiday season? Probably as a business owner, you're thinking about this November-ish through 1st of January, which in North America, here in Arizona, which is probably where most of your clients are, this is a time that has an energetic that's both personal. So I trust that your personal lives are flourishing, but it's also really important for your business. So how can you make decisions that improve your performance and your impact with customers, with your employees, your team, and for yourself? So that's where we're headed. Now, the holiday season has been traditionally considered somewhat both stressful and opportunity laden. So both there's stress in the holiday for businesses and there's opportunity. 54% of entrepreneurs feel stress at the holidays, coming from creating customer demand, managing work-life balance, keeping prices competitive. 54% of employees say they feel stress at the holidays, buying presents, workload, personal expenses. And 56% of consumers will say they feel extra financial strain. And that often in the holiday is gift decorations, pressure of time. Now, one of the things you'll notice is look at the dates on those statistics. They're all pretty recent, but they are pre-pandemic. So take for a moment, just kind of have a little sit back and ask yourself, what might be the level of stress and the sources of that stress for you as the entrepreneur, for your team, And for your customers, that feels different since in the last couple of years going through COVID and recovery. No matter what the stress is, there's still opportunity and opportunity for your business. So the other statistic that shows is for some businesses, holiday revenues can be up to 40% of a yearly business. And consumers and business customers tend to make more purchases and larger purchases during the holidays and year end. And employee engagement and retention activities are often expected and part of the rhythm of our commercial lives. So have a little bit of a reflection about what are the stresses and what are the opportunities. And I'll just talk about traditionally what have the responses been. So traditionally, and this I would say, you know, for those of you for how long you've been a business owner, the holiday money decisions include discounts and specials for customers. Discounts and specials for customers are part of a traditional mindset about holiday decisions. And yet there can be both advantages and some disadvantages. So the advantage of having a sense of there's a special for the holiday is that it can build urgency and excitement and a sense of relatedness and connection for your customers. But there's a shadowy downside. When I was working for it was a medium-sized entrepreneurial business, privately owned business, a professional services firm, there was a rhythm we got into around the holiday season and year end that had a downside. So we would get sales pressure from I was in business development. There'd be sales pressure. We've got to make the year end. And then we had at the time, some of our products were deliverables. So things that programs and booklets that we would physically deliver. And it would be suggested that we call our clients and we say, we've got a holiday special for you. We've got a discount for you. And what started to happen after just 2 to 3 years is that we've got a discount for you became less impactful for the customers because it started to look like our sense of poor planning and almost desperation. And it started to affect how, especially our long-term customers, would look at our over the year proposals and pricing. So take a fresh moment. What will be for you discounts, specials, and opportunities for your customers? Another thing that's a traditional decision is what do we do for our team? So parties, bonuses, events, appreciation events, gift giving exchanges. So again, the upside of this is, particularly if it's part of your history or it's part of your brand, or you have an employee culture that you want to feel like a family and to celebrate, there can be a really positive energy of party bonuses and events. And then there can be a downside as well, almost a financial downside. I remember one person saying to me, he said, I feel like with, I'm part of a team in a small business, but I feel like come about November, I've got a part-time job that's an extra 10 hours a week for me to just attend to the things that the employer is expecting of us. And then finally, what are the financial choices for you, the business owner, the leader? And so this whole piece around balancing personal investment, tax, family decisions with your business decisions, that often at year end, there can be some choices and some pressures that can really make a difference in how successful your business is, but also how you set yourself up personally for financial good ongoing. And so today, I want us to think about not just the traditional decisions, but what are the ones that are the emerging strategies for you? And I also want to do a bit of a shout out for your ongoing financial and strategic education and the use of the resources that are here. So if you think about those 180 webinars that are in the resource collective and the archives, you think about the tools that are there. What are the things that are going to be fresh and important for you? So around your customers, when it comes to the relationships you have with customers, what are the components of value that you can emphasize so that financially, I mean, always what we're looking to do is increase revenue and increase margin when it comes to financial decisions around customers. For your team and your employees, what are the decisions that you make that are about retention? Now, not just preventing turnover, but truly retaining and engaging your employees for the values and the things that they find important now. And often we think about holiday decisions, whether it's staffing levels or events or bonuses that seem like they're always an expense. But in many ways, the investment you make in your employees can be a financial benefit ongoing. And then finally, you as a leader, what are the strategies you want to engage in? And then what are you going to do for your personal resilience? For this season, what will you do to keep yourself inspired and uplifted? And so, as we go a little deeper in customers, employees, and you, I have brought a couple of voices from two Arizona experts that we'll be sharing with some video interviews as well. So let's talk about customers first. So when you think about the financial decisions you make, always with customer relationships, you're looking to say, how can we either sell more of existing product or product extensions to existing or new clients, or how can we charge more, but not have to have greater expense? How can we keep the clients that we have, but continue to add value, particularly around adding value so that what we offer helps our customers, if it's a business to business customer, to achieve their goals, or if it's a consumer, to achieve what they want as they use our product or service. So there's something really beautiful about thinking about the holiday season as a time of deepening value, connection, and relationship, and doing it in an authentic way. And so to go a little deeper with this, I have brought a short interview with Tash Times. Tash is a local sales and marketing and networking expert. And here you'll see our interview. So welcome, everyone. I'm here with my good friend and brilliant colleague, Tash Times. And this part of the conversation for Holidays and Money is all about what are the strategies that business owners can be thinking about when it comes to our customers. So Tash, this is Tash Times. She's the founder of Tash Times Sales Agency. For over 10 years here in the Valley, Tash has been empowering businesses and entrepreneurs. And what I really appreciate is, Tash, you are an expert at helping companies of all sizes, a variety of industries, attract more leads, maintain a full pipeline, and then convert leads into prosperous clients. So Tash, welcome.
Thank you so much for being here. I love hearing that read. It sounds great.
We should all believe our own press.
Right?
So for our business owners that the Arizona Commerce Authority is serving here in the Small Business Bootcamp, sometimes what folks can think about is, well, it's the holiday season. I should offer a bunch of discounts. But I think you advise your clients a lot differently when it comes to how to think about serving customers.
So true. Absolutely. I think one of the primary things when we think about the holidays, we automatically go into what am I going to buy? How am I going to give them a discount? But the first thing I would say is start at the beginning of the year. So starting in January next year, start thinking about how to have that value So you don't have to do this big and swooping thing at the end of the year to make your clients feel valuable. So that's the first thing, is to really honor them and show them value all year. But there are some other ways as well, Karen.
Yes, indeed. I appreciate that. Start at the beginning with value. So what else can folks be thinking about here at year end and here during holidays?
Absolutely. I think one of the first things people tend to do is have these expensive parties and bring everybody together, and people don't really get a chance to get to know each other in those types of environments. Most of the time they can't come because they have lots of other, invitations already on their calendars. I would recommend doing small roundtables to really get to know those people that you spend time with, that have, invested in themselves through you. Those small roundtables make them feel valuable. The goal for those is to help them to meet some of their ideal clients, some of the people that they need to know the most. And I think that adds a tremendous amount of value. One of the other things that I love to ask our clients to do is to do things such as assessments and surveys, again, earlier in the year, to learn about their clients and what they really want, what they're really excited about and passionate about, so that should you decide to do small appreciation gifts, you're giving them things that really mean something to them, opposed to what everyone else is getting. So those are some very small things, but believe it or not, they add a tremendous amount of value, and people really feel like you see them, you hear
Yes.
them, and you really care about them.
I appreciate that. Just the simplicity of thinking about value being customized to the individual customer rather than generic. And the idea of the roundtables is you're giving those customers something they cannot get anywhere else, which is like a pre-vetted network to be able to connect to, that's in their field and in their extended field.
Absolutely. And I think the wonderful thing about that is sometimes we might think, well, maybe I'll just give them more of my time. And that's great, but your time is valuable. Your time is also money, and you're not going to be able to charge for that. But bringing those small groups together gives you that same opportunity, still makes them feel seen, heard, and valued, but it also is a smarter use of your time. So just think about what are those things that aren't going to necessarily cost you a tremendous amount more of money. However, they are going to really add tremendous value to that client relationship and help deepen it.
Oh, well, Tish, thank you so much. So we'll definitely include your contact information here. So if people want to connect with you, and you've really sparked my commitment to value is more important than crazy year-end discounts.
Absolutely. The thing, if we think about it, connection is equal to money, if you will, in many cases. So if you can help make a connection for someone, that might go even further than spending a bunch of money on things that they're going to probably throw away anyways.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and happy holidays to you this year.
Happy holidays to you as well.
Okay. So take a moment and just reflect on what are the things that you heard from Tish that might be applicable to your business. What are the kinds of things that might be helpful? Would it be a roundtable event? Would it be a survey or an assessment? Would it be having some kind of connection experience? So think about that. And then Robert Starkley asks, I like the idea of selling at regular price, but adding on as a special bundled deals versus discounted, your thoughts. So I'll just answer that live in the session. So, you can kind of hear our conversation has been a little bit like discounts are bad. And I'm not saying discounts are bad, but watch for making an offer whose only benefit is a lower price, because that will be the opening of a potential downward spiral. So if you are going to offer something at a lower than regular price, you always want to have a reason for doing it. And it could be customer appreciation. So as a customer who has purchased at this level, or who has done referrals for us, or who has helped us to grow, we appreciate you and we want to offer you a year-end opportunity to save on something you regularly buy. Or what Robert asked about is, what about bundles? And bundles can be a way of giving what feels like a deal. And everybody, your buyers, no matter how sophisticated your business is, they're human beings, they like deals. A bundle can be a way of very smartly offering something that feels like a deal, but it isn't necessarily reducing your margin. So for example, you may have an add-on service that is a customized piece of advice. And maybe what you do is you include that advice with the product, and normally you would charge separately for it, but it's not a diminution of value for you to include it in the bundle. Or maybe you have a physical product that has a ton of margin in it, and maybe that product's already been produced. And therefore, if you add it to a service, it costs you very little, but it really makes the bundle seem better. So I just think the guideline is, if you're using incentive, bonus, bundling, discount pricing in any way, assure that it connects to value, to your brand, to customer appreciation, and then be creative. And maybe you'll add events that are more like connection events rather than super expensive produced events for your customers. So good question. Thank you, Robert. And we'll give thanks to Tish here as well. Now, when it comes to your people, so the financial decisions around employees, so you can see here the idea is to authentically engage and at the same time protect your employee retention and engagement, and also protect your profitability. And so the same kind of idea about spending on employees is to think about, there's so much research that says employees have value and engagement in the places that they work that is not solely dependent on the financial good that they receive. Pay and financial good from their employer is always important, but it's not often the only thing or the most important thing. So what do your employees and your team want in terms of holiday connection? And I did check the Pew Research numbers on the religious experiences of adults in Arizona. So I just wanted to see, let's, if we're going to have a holiday experience, let's be sure that we are relevant, inclusive, and respectful of the religious or non-religious nature of our teams. In Arizona, adults, 67%, so 2/3 of adults in Arizona call themselves some form of Christian. So that could be evangelicals and Catholics and Methodists and Mormons. So it's a pretty broad range, but it's about 2/3 of adults. And then 27% of adults, they will affiliate themselves with none. So not a religious label or group. And you've probably heard the nuns, Nones, are a growing number of people. So people are not necessarily calling themselves a member of a religion. So these might be unaffiliated people, and they could be atheist or agnostic or call themselves spiritual but not religious. But 27%, so over a quarter. And then 6% of adults in Arizona, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, some other religious affiliation. So that just means if you've got 12 people on your team, 7 or 8 of them might consider themselves Christian. Maybe 2, 3, 4 of them would say, I'm not affiliated. And maybe you do have someone on your team who has some other affiliation. And so I say that just to have you not make any assumptions about what kind of practices or engagement or activities or family activities your folks will be engaging in. And with a respectful and inclusive point of view, and also being relevant to this moment, to what everyone's been through in the last couple of years, which has been different for other people. You may have people deeply personally affected by COVID, others who maybe have not been, some who do have kids and families and are navigating various challenges with that. So what can you do to be relevant and engaging? And so I went and asked Eric Osland from Evolved MD. So this company that's founded in 2017 currently has 40 employees, 40 on their team here in Arizona, with the aspiration to grow their team tenfold. And this company's been an award winner at Phoenix Business Journal just in the last 6 months. And I was really excited to have this interview about employee engagement and the holidays. So this is Karen Russo and Eric Osland to talk about the employee engagement and retention side of the money decisions for the holidays. And I'm so happy to welcome Eric from Evolved MD. Launched in 2017, Evolved MD is the leading integrator of behavioral health services into modern primary care. So they've got a distinctive model, placing the behavioral health specialist on site within a practice, economically viable, better way to integrate behavioral health, and it's all dedicated to improving patient outcomes. And Eric is a corporate leader, healthcare founder, serial entrepreneur, and the managing partner of Evolved MD. And Eric's responsible for enhancing customer experience, developing the high-performing team, and then elevating this integrated behavioral health industry through thought leadership. So Eric, welcome.
Welcome, Karen. We might have to hire you. I love the intro. Thank you very much. It was very detailed and spot on. So thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you here. And our folks want to hear, what are the strategies and priorities that you're using to focus on employee engagement and retention around the holidays?
Yeah, well, this is an area we think a lot about because we are in the mental health space, and we need to be honest with ourselves. The last year and a half has been extremely difficult for all families, for all individuals, especially those of us in healthcare. And so, we need to be very thoughtful about how it's impacted our folks, and then that will guide our engagement. So when we look at our employees, number one, I think at the core of it, we have to care about our people, and we have to surround folks in the field with leaders in the organization that genuinely care. But beyond that, we've listened to our organization, the employees, and based upon their responses, we've developed some engagement. So around the holidays, traditionally we've had a holiday party where we brought our team together. And as an organization, our folks told us that, hey, we want to come together as an organization, but we want to develop that engagement around philanthropy. And so we're going to kick off the holiday season really giving back. We're going to bring our entire organization together for the upcoming Ignite Hope event at Phoenix Children's. Evolved MD is a corporate sponsor, and we'll be walking down Thomas from North High to the Children's Hospital, and we'll be lighting some candles and telling some great stories. And as a parent who's had a child who spent some time at Phoenix Children's, number one, just some great folks doing some great things over there. And we're just really proud as an organization to be able to support. So that's first and foremost. So bring the team together, celebrate, and try to give back all at the same time. Number two, we want to be very thoughtful about the notion that the holiday season is a season to bring the family together. And so as an organization, we made a decision a couple of years ago that we would institute a holiday break as an organization. So from November 24th through the 1st of January, our entire organization shuts down, and everybody has time to spend with their families and focus on themselves.
Sorry to interrupt. I think you mean December 24th.
Yes, December 24th through January 1st. Very long break otherwise. So we really encourage our folks to spend that time just focusing on themselves and their families. And during that time, we also want them to prioritize self-care. So, good mental health and good well-being really requires us to focus every single day on doing something good for ourselves. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be meditation. It can be a breathing exercise. For me personally, I like to start my mornings with 10 minutes of stretching yoga just to kind of decompress. And so these things all lead to good overall well-being. If our employees are healthy and happy, then guess what? They're way more apt to stick around, and we're able to retain them. And so these are just core focuses for us.
It's beautiful to hear your strategies. And one of the things I want to pull out is you went to your people and said, what would work for you for engagement? I think one of the themes that I'm seeing is the idea that holiday parties are alcohol fueled bacchanals is just kind of a thing of the past. In today's world, people want things that feel meaningful and connected. And so the image of your team um, heading over to Ignite is just a beautiful image.
And we're excited about it. And I think it just speaks to our people too, right? These folks give back every day. They're servicing patients, and what do they want to do with their free time? They want to gather as a team, and they want to give back. It's a really beautiful thing.
Yes. Well, the final question is, how do you see these strategies connecting to financial performance?
Well, I mean, at the soul of our company, it's our people. Without our people, we can't serve patients, and without serving patients, we can't generate revenue. And so, we understand and we know what our best asset is, and we want to make sure that we protect that asset. And in order to protect that asset, you have to care for your people. And so, it's small things like listening. It's bigger things like focusing on self-care and providing space for your employees to do that. And then it's other meaningful things that actually have a definitive cost, like giving your folks a week off at the end of the year. But the net impact is that it makes our team happier. Their mental well-being is better. Their physical health is better as a result of it. And over the long term, our company will thrive. And so we just need to be good stewards for our resources, and our best resource for our people. And if we do that, the product will take care of itself, and the financials will benefit as well.
Yes. Well, thank you for this. It sounds like you've put into practice these ideas that, engagement corresponds to outcomes in your business, outcomes for your patients, for your people, for your customers, for your community, and also financial outcomes. So it's great to hear that. So wonderful. So we'll be sure that everyone's got contact information for Evolved MD, and we just appreciate you because you sharing your wisdom is a give back through this Arizona Commerce Authority boot camp. So thank you so much.
No, thank you for the time. I appreciate letting us share our story. Have a great day.
All right. So what can you take from what Eric Osland at Evolved MD is doing that would be relevant for you? What is it that the asset of your people and your team, even if your team is small, I mean, even if it's 2 employees and a handful of contractors, what can you do to meaningfully connect, to be respectful, to mirror your company values, and to show an investment? And it may well be that a gift exchange, and nobody's going to object to calling it Secret Santa, and a fun party makes a lot of sense. And it may be that a give back event, a family event, something outdoors feels right. What is it for you that's going to really help you and your people? And then the final area is you, the business owner, you, the leader. And so you'll see here, honor the holidays, retreat and reflect, return stronger. So the holidays, I think people know my background is both business and banking and corporate, but I'm also an ordained interfaith minister. And so I'm going to give you 3 sentences about a larger context for the holidays. So there are many across the world's religions and in traditions, earth-based traditions and spiritual traditions, that this season is all about darkness and light. So whether for you it's a religious story and experience, the birth of Jesus, or whether it is the Hanukkah tradition, or whether you're someone who notices the solstice or you practice it a particular way, there's a larger metaphysical, larger than the physical. There's something happening. And if you are atheist, agnostic, non-practicing, it may just be an energetic change of seasons. That may be how you experience it. But there's something that happens where there's more darkness, and then the light emerges. And I want to encourage each and every one of you to find some way to honor that experience, what's happening seasonally, what's happening energetically, what's happening in the calendar, so that you get the benefit of the retreat and reflect experience. And so it might be as simple as, be sure that you as a leader get a half-day year-end retreat where you go to Desert Botanical Garden or any one of the wonderful parks we have here in the desert, and you sit and give yourself a reflection of the year, where you think about your values. What is it that lights you up, that you want to inspire and commit to? What do you need personally? And then what do you want to do professionally? We grow through both support and challenge. We deepen in our capacity through stillness and action. And you as the leader, and you certainly heard it with Eric's messaging around the protect the asset, protecting the asset is your team, but it's also you. So maybe you do return to a religion of your childhood and have some experience in the holiday season that feels meaningful. Maybe you do get that outdoor reflection. Maybe you do give yourself a chance to get offline for a few days. But I encourage you to give yourself that reflection. And so you can then return stronger in 2022. So that's our conversation here. And as we conclude, it's always nice to think after a session like this, what are the actions you're going to take around your customers? How will you be increasing value and connection so that you can support revenue and margins? For your employees, what will you do for engagement and retention so that you can reduce the cost of turnover and hiring and absenteeism, but that you can also enhance profitability and enhance your culture? And then you as the leader, what are your strategies for your personal reflection and resilience? So that's our formal conversation. I think what's great is we usually have time for comments or questions. We'd like to hear what actions you're going to take away, and if you have any specific questions around these topics.
Thank you, Karen, and to our audience, our attendees, please share that information in the Q&A or in the chat. It's really good to hear from other businesses. Businesses like to hear from other businesses. So please share some of the ideas you got from this, some of your takeaways in the chat. We'd love to see some of that feedback, what you got from this, and things you might apply to this holiday season.
It was interesting, wasn't it, Robert, to hear about the Evolved MD, the commitment to that chunk of time off. What percentage would you say of businesses do you think are doing some version of that?
I've heard of I know some businesses. There's a little restaurant that's down the street from my house that every summer they take like 2 weeks off. They close up shop for 2 weeks. Everybody knows when they'll have that piece of vacation guaranteed, but they close it down for 2 weeks and take their time and come back re-energized. And everybody knows that, hey, the place is gonna be closed for a couple weeks, but they will be back open.
Yes.
So,
and I see a couple of folks. So Sarah, if you want to unmute, what will you do with your time off as the business owner?
Let me go to Sarah and unmute her. All right, Sarah.
So I am a business owner. I own a boutique, but I am also a small business development business analyst. And so I'm thinking just giving myself a break from my boutique and just focusing on one job. I know it's not really a break, but just thinking about, not asking our employees to work that week after Christmas, but maybe also me not working that week after Christmas. Just kind of thinking of myself a little bit more too this season, because it's been such a crazy year and super busy.
Yes. Yes. And thank you for sharing that. And I imagine that folks who are here with us live or who are on the replay, you know, how many folks have at least a gig and a half, if not two or three. So, you know, thank you for that, Sarah. And it's counterintuitive, but you getting the time off means you're going to have an athlete would say fresh legs, which you're going to have the fresh energy to keep up that rhythm into the next year.
Yeah, that's so true.
You know, one thing I've found is just at the holidays or other periods, you know, I spent many years in retail, and sometimes we go through the holidays, which are crazy, and then have inventories in January. And so life didn't slow down a little bit until maybe February, but just doing something on your day off or on some time off that's different from your normal routine kind of wakes up the mind and
Yes.
refreshes you. So I like to try to get out and do something different. I like to ride my motorcycle around the state. And so, you know, the picture behind me is from a ghost town in near Tombstone. You know, but get out and just enjoy the state we have and do different things like that always is a good relaxing thing for me and my mind.
Yes. All right.
Any other comments or questions? We don't mind giving people time back in their day, but we also want to take advantage of having Karen here with us. So, you know, please ask some questions, share your comments. You know, Sarah had mentioned in the chat, she said, I love the idea of giving the business owner a break. But sometimes the holidays, you know, as a team with your business, giving back to the community is a great opportunity. And there's lots of things you can do, whether it's, you know, going to a food,
Yes.
Food shelter type place, a shelter, and helping serve food, or doing a service project as a team can bring your team closer. It gets you out of the normal work mode into a different mode, and can do things as well. So that may be an idea for some out there as well.
Yes. Yes.
So with that, Karen, we don't have anybody asking any other questions or post up in the chat. So we will give everybody a little bit of time back in their day. You know, for many of us, it'll be some time before the next meeting, but we're glad to have you with us today. Karen, thank you for sharing this presentation. We're always glad to have you with us and sharing your time and your expertise. And again, thank you all the participants that attended. We hope to see you. We hope you have a great Thanksgiving week and Thanksgiving holiday. And we look to see you on the 30th, November 30th at 9 a.m. And we'll be back for the next boot camp on that date. So everybody, thanks and have a great day.